I did something good came my way, I'm more likely to do it again, right? So within each one of those systematic programs that we build that in. We write that specifically in. Student gets a correct response, they get what we call a reinforcer, right? Something good. So for a child that's like 2 or 3 years old, anything can be a reinforcer, right? I can give him this book and tell him that it's whatever, and it's something fun. It can be bubbles, it can be a song, it can be a high five, it can be attaboy, good job, it can be a token, it can be a number of things. But the point is that when they get it right, or when we see the good stuff, when we see the stuff that we want to happen more, we deliver the things that they like, right? That's why ABA works. And that's why it can work anywhere. It doesn't have to be a discrete trial program. It can be a naturalistic teaching program, right? We can set the natural environment up for a teaching opportunity. And there's a lot of research that shows that's a really great way to go. And that's a lot more effective than the discrete trial methodology. So that's really the direction that Boston Public Schools is going in. We're really trying to get away from this model of, I'm going to take Johnny and I'm going to do ABA, right? We're trying to get away from that, and we're really trying to embed the principles of ABA. Those three things that I just talked to you about why it works, we're really trying to bring those things, all of those components, into the classroom so that all of our classrooms for children with autism are functioning at that level. Whether it's a completely separate classroom, whether it's a fully included, partial inclusion, all of our classrooms need to be based on the principles of applied behavior analysis. And that's the direction we're headed. So, some other things that we're really trying to move forward with within Boston Public Schools. We're really trying to develop a team-based and a collaborative approach to IEP goal development and IEP development in general. I really want to get away from the days where we have an ABA goal or we have an OT goal. There should be goals that we're all working on in our own way, and we're all working together as a team to accomplish these goals. So that's one of the things that's most important to me, is that the OT feels like they can come to the ABA person and say, hey, how would you approach this skill? We really want to develop these teams of people because everybody brings something different to the table. Now, I've already disclosed I'm a BCBA, and so that's my thing, and I'm big into ABA. I think that's a little bit obvious. But everybody brings something to the table. And it's really important that all of our team members feel like they can approach us and that we can approach them so that we can get their side of it and they can get our side of it. Because nobody's got all the right answers. We all need to work as a team, and that's the only way that we're really going to be able to really make a difference for these kids. So we're really excited, like I said, we're really excited about the work that we've already done. I feel like the services for children with autism right now are probably better than they've ever been. I'm not happy with where we are. By no means do I think we are where we need to be. And I'm really excited about the work that we still have to do. I know that with our partners' help and with our internal workforce's help and with all the support that central administration is giving us, and John Veer and Joan Anderson and all those individuals, everyone's working really hard, and we're really trying to do the best that we can, and we're really excited to continue that work. So does anyone have any questions for me at this point?
I have two. One is, it says appropriate and on-time evaluations for the ABA.
Yes.
Are you currently working like within the 45-day parameter, or if not, what should one expect about this time for an initial ABA evaluation in terms of time?
Right. So the question has to do with evaluations and on-time evaluations. Right now we have 165 students who are currently receiving ABA services and have received evaluations, and we do have a backlog that's extensive, and we're working really hard. That's one of the reasons that we have created the third program director for ABA, is to really help us with that backlog. So we are working hard on that. It's one of those things that we're not where we want to be, unfortunately, but we're continuously making progress to get to the point where we do want to be. On-time evaluations that lead to on-time services.
Can you give an approximate time frame for an initial evaluation at this point in time, what the wait time is?
At this point in time, we're doing our best to meet the 45-day window. In all cases, we're not able to do that. So we're doing our best to reach that.
My second question is on the technical assistance overview advisory that you passed out, the SPED advisory. One of the last paragraphs talks about pre-service training and in-service training for the staff that works with kids on the autism spectrum. If your child is not in an autism classroom or a special ed classroom, where should one look? What department is responsible for providing that training to the regular education teachers who might have like one autism spectrum child in their class or 2 or 3?
So her question was about professional development and where should one look for training for students who are not necessarily in an autism strand. That's definitely going to be something that we will be working on. Yeah, John,
yeah.
I guess my question is, like, how does one go about incorporating that into an IEP, or what department would that involve?
So our department, and the Department of Teacher and Leadership Development. It's a new department with a new assistant superintendent. His name is Ross Wilson, former principal of the Haley School. Is now the assistant superintendent for teacher and leader development. Collaboratively, we're developing what is called the catalog of professional development from our department. So that training is being included in the catalog. We're going to be offering that professional development to all schools all the time. With the schools that have children on the autism spectrum, one function of these 3 people and the 4th person will be to work individually with those schools to encourage the principal to make access to those professional development opportunities possible for the staff. And if it's a school that has an autism strand, where we have an autism specialist in the building, we can actually arrange that ourselves and make it available right in the school. This is, until Ross and the new department, which opened just 2 months ago, there was no substantial structure in the Boston Public Schools for professional development. Now there is. Again, while our department can describe and even design, make available the professional development, we have to work closely with the principals of the schools to make sure that that professional development gets to the teachers, which we will do.
So are those professional development resources available currently, or that's a future?
No, the catalog has already started developing, and we'll be adding the autism parts of that over the next couple of months. The catalog is already in development.
You mentioned iPads for the classes of the newly specialized strands. Would those also be made available to inclusion classrooms that have autism kids in them, but they, aren't newly created classrooms?
So the question is about iPads and if they would be available to inclusion students who are included in the general education. And the answer to that currently is those iPads that we have ordered and that we are distributing are specifically for the strand teachers, the autism strands. But I think over the course of the next year or 2 years that we're going to see a lot more teachers using iPads, and I think that they're going to be in the general education setting as well.
I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You say in a couple of days we will see a teacher using this technique. But how about if the teacher, in the classroom for 8 students, and all the students are their own IPs. It's individual, and there is only one teacher and one assistant. So I don't know. I'm asking you how the teacher can apply this techniques.
So the question is about how teachers would be able to apply
Yeah.
ABA techniques throughout the classroom. And there are a lot of different ways that can happen. I think you said that there was one teacher and one para. In our autism strands, the ratio is actually one teacher, 2 paras with 8 students. So with that function, there are ways to set up your day so that every student has some time to do one-on-one interaction with the teacher. There's a lot of different creative ways to set that up. In addition to that, there are class-wide behavior support plans that can be developed that utilize those principles of applied behavior analysis throughout the day. So when I was talking about the imitation example, and I was giving you kind of how a discrete trial would work, that's not necessarily how you would approach a skill for the whole classroom or a behavior support plan for the whole classroom. There's a lot of different ways that can be implemented, and we're going to be working with our program directors for ABA and our contractors to help us to develop that within each one of the classrooms.